Do you wanna destroy or kill? Choose wisely. No, I'm kidding. It's exploding or murdering. Big difference. You disagree? Well, I'm Araknie, and it doesn't matter because I'm making a fool of myself talking about another shoot 'em up, and it's Gate of Thunder's turn. You might know about the second one, but I bet you don't know that it's a sequel or a prequel maybe. We'll try to understand that when we get to it. Because that is the much more famous Lords of Thunder. Maybe they're just in love with saying of thunder. Who are we to judge? Like Final Fantasy was never meant to be that, always meant to be a rival to Dragon's Quest. After all, the original title in the first town makes fun of the well interactions Enix game did. But first, the first game. I'm a real wordsmith today. Keeping in that vein, I could say that the story starts from the beginning, but it doesn't. The plot centers around a group of space pilots that need to defeat a bunch of rebels. And you are Ock, leader of the squadron called Wildcat, without the S at the end to avoid copyright issues. It's already incredible like this, but there's an ending twist. I will not show it or spoil it because it's just ridiculous. The names of the people are super funny and so on the nose. They truly are nicknames chosen by cops. But that's not important, it's fun to have a cutscene at the end and the beginning, but this is just a 30 minutes playthrough. The shorter the game, the less story I want. This is just right. The gameplay is not that original, but it has a few interesting things that make me like it a lot. First of all, you can get helpers and 2 extra weapons. The helpers widen your range by a lot. You can easily cover 40% of the screen with them, and that's without moving smartly around. I managed to do level 2 and 3 without dying before getting hit by the difficulty spike in the 4th one on my first try. And I lost a few lives in the first stage only because I was getting accustomed with the ship, but not the controls. Those are very standard. With button 2 you shoot and with button 1 you change weapon. Wait, that's different. Oh yeah, you get to all the 3 of them, and you haven't heard the best part about it. When you die you only lose the one currently equipped, contra hardcore style, giving you the chance to still be effective against your enemies. 2 of them even. The game is 7 levels long, but the first 3 are totally doable, including the bosses. Everything has a pattern, their design is clear cut, and you have visibility of all the enemy bullets and yours. It's one of the rare games where bullets have different colors not only for you but also for the different types of CPU. That helps so much. Plus they added a shield in one of the drops you can get. It's the only one not randomized. Makes sense for the weapons, but this one needed some cadence and they made it so. It's really smartly designed, to the point where you can do the final boss first try on normal difficulty. For 1992 this is pretty fair. I did die once because I'm not too good, but hey, they made me feel pretty satisfied. I might have gotten a little bit better compared to a year ago when I started getting into this genre, but this game makes you understand it really well. What's missing is a bit of level design. There's a few obstacles that you need to move around, some doors that you need to destroy to pass by, but they're all concentrated in one stage. Sprinkle this stuff more around the stages, especially since it's a horizontal shooter this time around. The best ones have a reputation of being much more varied in their stages compared to the vertical style. Just look at Cybalion for an example.
Cybalion.
But it's okay, I like that the background changes as you get into different places. Visually, it propels you forward, even if it's a bit on the simple side. The enemies have even interesting patterns and will surprise you with some original movements and guns, so that was clearly their focus. They fumble a bit with the bosses, they are quite generic. They are giant robots but not unique looking. I've seen this kind of stuff in many other titles. Even the final boss. It's well designed from a gameplay perspective, but I expected a weird creature to come out from that hole, and that doesn't happen. The normal enemies have much more spunk, and I'm glad they do make this world colorful. That's also helped by the foreground and the background. They have very advanced layers of scrolling, and this is clearly thanks to the CD capabilities, to the point where they will change the layers, making it seem like you enter a tunnel or a dark area, and then you see a different locations. This is amazing for a non-arcade game, because yes, the disc helps, but it also has to run on a 16-bit console. Usually there's only so much you can do, so this mask loading is very smart and awe-inspiring. The music is just pure metal instrumentals, but the ones that want to have memorable melodies, not for a bunch of talentless growlers. It's an amazing tour de force of composing. The game just makes you realize that Hudson Soft was a gigantic worldwide company with an amazing level of pull with anybody. They just hired a decently famous American composer to do this. He understood perfectly the vibes of a Japanese shoot 'em up, adapted to it, and did a flawless job. Nick Wood was an absolute beast, a tour de force in originality and melodies. Something that was constantly hyping me up in the levels. And the music during the bosses was surprisingly mellow, but I gotta admit it, I noticed this only when rewatching my own footage, but not during gameplay, because even if you are attentive during the levels, the lack of music is not noticed during boss fights. You sense it's there in cases where it's particularly good, but when there's nothing or turns to be very understated, you don't feel anything. This can be applicable to most video games, it's just our brain reacts to it. But then how did this turn out? It's a great game, let's be honest, Gate of Thunder is an 8 out of 10. What is missing is personality and originality, but the gameplay alone holds this game in high regard. Apparently Lords of Thunder doesn't have this problem, so we'll see when we get there. If you wanna see me play the games that I will review plus some extra stuff, catch me on Twitch at Araknie Retro. It's my natural habitat, you see. Until next time, ciao ciao!